Morning, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the second of 2 live streams, and I'm going to get into the camera right now. We have on today's second live stream and topic some coverage about health really, that's what it's about. This live stream, as you see in the title, what you see is what you get, and we're going to be discussing a little bit about my caregivers and one of many chronic illnesses that have come up. So it's a bit serious. Actually, it's quite serious. That's a bit of an understatement. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit of my relationships that have been soured between me and them, but have been on recovery recently. Unfortunately, I want to do something for her, but it's kind of hard to do that when she's always in pain. And so we'll talk about that. Anyways, needless to say, that's the topic for this live stream. This is the second of 2 live streams. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project, wherever you're from, whether it's Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Periscope. I did see someone actually from Africa TV. So Africa TV is actually a Korean broadcasting thing. So I don't know, I believe 안녕하세요 is how you say 안녕하세요. Okay, so hi, this is I'm pretty sure you can't understand English, but if you do, that's great. I saw a comment there. Basically, I wanted to shout out, there's someone who was replying to the stream on the previous live stream. I'm having 2 streams today, and they said, just a friendly hi guy, hi. So hi, hello, okay, from Canada to Korea, wherever you're from. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get started. Let's get into the topics. The previous live stream I was talking about my cousin's birthday, right? And saying how I have about 5 cousins who came together. Some of them weren't there, but they brought their girlfriends, the few that were, and so we had this gathering of like 8 of us just having an outside eating at a restaurant. And again, this is eating outside, obviously, because and with masks and everything, because you have to during COVID-19. There's still a pandemic situation. But I showed basically the restaurant there, and I talked a little bit about the budgeting, how much I spent on gifts for them. Also what the cake that they brought in for all of us to share, and just catching up with each other's life in terms of careers, relationships, just what's going on, and making some friendly banter and jokes here and there, as well as some stuff from my caregivers. It was like a sandwich, a nice toast sandwich with Parisian pate. That's a foie gras, so I believe duck liver, and so and as well as an almond drink. And I was talking about how these things are symbolic of what my relatives mean to me, and in this particular stream we're going to talk about specifically my caregivers, my predecessors. I'm talking about one side, my mother. She's been having so I know this gets personal, but I'm going to try to keep this somewhat confidential enough to the point that it makes sense to be, but life without regrets, right? And I'm not going to have any regrets. The only regrets I will have is not sharing my story and our story. And so what's happened is, this is very, very sad. I always view my caregiver's life as a real just tragedy, that they had such a hard time through and through. Most recently, what I'm talking about, if you see in the title, it says a chronic illness. So what's happened is, over the past weekend, I found out that my caregiver has essentially, after going to the hospital, now there were plenty of symptoms, so me being in biomedical science, I am sort of familiar with some clinical symptoms. She's having headaches, okay, recurrent headaches that have been happening for week after week after week, months on end, as well as general fatigue in her arms, her limbs, just getting up, staying alert. Notices a lot of headaches just staring at the screen for maybe less than half an hour to 20 minutes even on the computer, and then suddenly there's a headache. It's like a migraine. Maybe not a migraine, that's very powerful, but that's on top of all the chronic health issues such as arthritis, so in your joints and your wrists, your bones, the joints rubbing together, tendonitis. Arthritis and tendonitis go hand in hand in some sense. Basically, she's done a very difficult, laborious, hard work, heavy lifting job for most of her life. for the past 20 to 30 years trying to just support the family that even then she couldn't really provide for, and that's rough, you know, to watch someone, especially your own caregivers, your own, you know, father or mother, or sometimes both, try to do something for their kids, but even that fails. They give everything, and everything is just not even enough to provide almost a proper childhood, a proper upbringing. That's a very sad thing, because you know, you don't wish that on anybody, because without the basics of trust and honesty, your family breaks apart. That's basically what happened. But they had such a difficult time, and it's very clear in my mother. Her entire body is breaking down, from her limbs to her joints to her tendonitis to her mind to her mental health now. Unfortunately, things have bled up so poorly that she went to the hospital. She had to go to the ER emergency, take a scan, and found that there are some, I believe they are clots, and this is quite severe because they're in the veins, and you know what happens, right? So these are typical signs of, I don't want to mention the severe outcome, but the most severe outcome is stroke. Obviously a clot inside the brain, and then resulting in partial paralysis or worse, death. And so, you know, I've mentioned many times before on my streams that, you know, it's a complicated history, right? The first 2 decades were just absolutely awful, and we couldn't get along at all, because it was almost a daily phenomenon where one would you know, hold my face against the wall for hours on end, screaming at me how they wish I were just dead on the street, and you know, you know, that's kind of what they're like, you know, and you know, it'd be back on back. It was something that hit home, but they had a lot of hard times too, because they couldn't also provide for each other. Just imagining, you know, they're a spouse, right? My father, my mother, they're trying to provide not just for me, but for each other, and they couldn't do that either. Oftentimes they ended up hurting each other, taking hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt from each other, oftentimes screaming, arguing with each other, because one person took away the health and livelihood of the other, by preventing them from going to higher education, and getting a university degree. So there's just been a lot of shit show back and forth, and then that bled into my upraising as well. And so it's just disappointing, but they tried their best. And you know, like I said, this is always my responsibility to always acknowledge and be grateful for what they provided. It's just the basic food, shelter, and a roof over my head. That is something that no one else can provide other than your own caregivers, or if you were adopted, your guardians. And I kind of resonate with that in some sense. So, but you know, you always have to appreciate that, and I still do. So it's disappointing because we're on the recovery. I've been trying to mend the very broken family dynamic that we've had for 3 decades. And only now that it's getting better, I always knew that it would be too late into the game, that we're too old now, that they're getting old and I'm getting old. Time's running out for us to solve the issues, and we're not fully repaired yet. And there's so much that we can look forward to if we can repair the relationships. But health will get in the way, because by the time 3 decades have passed, listen, I'm almost into my 30s and they're almost into their 60s. You know, I want to solve this before they die, before they pass away. And I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. But that's that. So it's important that I cover this, because, like I said, this is the part of the Ahn Rho Project that it's very raw, it's very real. Life, right? The Ahn Rho Project is a life management. Sorry about that. It's a life management project. It involves everything. It takes in all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so this is something that, like I said, over the past 2 weeks, everything just came together. I had this volunteering gig, my employment workplace. We had some stuff there. I had to manage my workplace benefits. I had a dentistry appointment. I had to, manage some new platforms for this project. And then on top of that, the cousin's birthday, my caregiver's birthday, she had her birthday, and my brother came back from London, so we had all this gathering, and they had to record all this kind of stuff. Everything just kind of fell apart, and then getting hit home with this kind of time limit. The time limit. I have a deadline to which I can make amends with my own caregivers and try to fix and keep this family together and bring it to a new height before their passing. And they're not even 60 yet, but I know that their health, they're probably not going to live as long as my colleagues' parents will, and their parents were when they passed away were in their 80s and 90s. But it's not likely to be the case, unfortunately, with my own caregivers. I won't have that kind of opportunity. I won't have that much time to mend the broken relationships we have, because they've been through so much that it's taken a toll on their health and well-being. And yeah, so this was a difficult live stream for me to speak about. I apologize if I got a little bit, sorry, I got a bit emotional earlier on. So, but life's it's full of fucking bullshit. That's life. And I cover the raw and honest stuff as well on live stream as well. It has to be. This is a time, like I said, if you weren't here for the introduction, the Ahn Rho Project is a self-therapeutic multimedia project. It's a self-improvement process as well. Solve the problems, challenges, as well as reach the goals and ambitions set for myself. Long story short, it's a time record, it's a business, it's a game in real life, it's all these things. But because it is also, like I said, a time record, 20, 30 years down the road, the anticipation is that I'll look back on this in the future. And so I do have to, and not have to, I want to, okay? Saying you have to is a bad mindset, but I want to cover this. This is something that I feel compelled and that I really want to cover on media format. And the fact that I can even speak on these serious issues without breaking down is a testament to how much I've improved over my time learning to live stream. So with that being said, that is why I want to cover today. Unfortunately, I can't cover this stuff here in front of me, but that's all right. That's not as important. I just need to hit off one and two and three more things that have come together, like 30, 40 different things that just came all at once over these past 2 weeks, the past month almost. And keeps rolling with the punches. So it's time to deliver a take-home message. And what is a take-home message of every single one of my live streams? So here we go. Take care of yourself, take care of your health, take care of your finances, take care of the people you care for. And the best way to do that is to become a strong, responsible, disciplined individual, so that, not only do people not have to be concerned or worried about you, but that because you are a strong, responsible individual, you have actually something of value to contribute to the ones you care for. You can't be of use or be of worth to the people that you care for unless you yourself are well off and independent yourself. I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm just practicing what I do. I say this because it's something I need improvement on, and that's what I'm doing. I'm embodying this, speaking about it, and then I'm putting it into action, into my behavior. I'm trying to put this in my behavior. So it's something I need work on. I'm not flawless. I have all these things that I need to solve myself. And I hope that this message of being strong yourself so that you can support the people you care for is something that you understand and take to be common sense and that resonates with you. So please, by all means, I don't compromise what I do here on stream for anybody else. I do what I do because it's good for me, and I will continue to do that no matter whether or not people put hate comments or whether they put lovely comments. Again, thank you for saying hi from Korea to Canada. That's great. But I will do what I do, just being real and honest here. And I hope that you share that same sentiment, that you do what you need to do for the people that you care for the things that you find important in your life, whether the next family doctor, maybe you have something special for your spouse, for your girlfriend, for your husband, for your kids and your grandkids. Maybe, I don't know who's watching, all right, whatever it is that's important to you, go ahead and do it. Whatever problems you may have, health, money, finance, relationships, solve those problems. Focus your attention, energy, time, and resources on those things. So with that being said, because I want what's best for you And I'm happy when you're happy, honestly, although I'm not completely dependent on that, right? The point is that, you know, even though I stream 7 days a week, 3 to 5 a.m., sometimes later, like today I'm late in the morning, I want you to know that my recommendation on the general is that you just pop into my live streams once or twice a week. Once or twice a week is enough, because like I said, you know, the ideal is that you spend most of that time bettering yourself. And then when you do have free time, when you're not working, you can drop onto my streams and you can watch on replay or live. It doesn't matter to me. I do this for me. Hopefully it's useful for you. Unless you're in a really bad situation in life where you have a lot of depression and anxiety issues, and you just maybe find it relatable or inspirational or motivational, I don't know what it is that you can get from my streams. If you find something of value from my streams and that, you know, you can actually benefit from coming every single stream, only then would I recommend, yeah, sure, you can drop in as often as you like. You're always welcome to my streams. But the point is, you know, limited to 1 or twice a week is my general recommendation. With that being said, that kind of wraps up the take-home message. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Ahn Rho Project. I hope to see a better version of myself as well as all of you tomorrow morning, or whenever the next live stream is. I plan on doing daily streams. I hope to be able to do that tomorrow morning. And with that being said, this is Ahn Rho signing out. Ciao.